Welcome to the Realtor Who Wines Podcast. I'm Rashelle Newmyer, your hostess with the mostest, a student of life, a connector, a passionate wine enthusiast, and your local favorite guide. Join me as we explore the vibrant Pacific Northwest, savor the finest wines, and champion the spirit of entrepreneurship. Each episode, I'll sit down with inspiring guests, supporting business ownership, and uncovering the stories that make this community unique. So grab a glass of wine, settle in, and let's embark on a journey of discovery and connection together. Cheers! Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Realtor Who Wines Podcast. I'm Rashelle Newmyer, your local realtor who loves to wine. Today, we are on a beautiful location, and I can't wait for you to hear more about it. Steve, thank you so much for having me here. Cheers to you.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. He just taught me how to properly cheers. Can we teach everybody at home? So if you're watching, obviously, you'll be able to see. If you're listening, go check out the YouTube video so that you can watch it. But he was saying the bottom of the glass. Yeah.
The barrel's the strongest part of the glass.
Yeah.
And the lip is the weakest part. So your chances of chipping a glass are much greater up there.
Yeah. And you said it sounds better.
Sounds better, too.
Yeah, it makes a nicer toast. Thank you so much for having me. Will you please introduce yourself to anyone that's listening?
Sure. I'm Steve Saxton, and my wife Lucy and I own Bravuro Cellars here in Amity. We also have a tasting room in downtown Newburgh, but we've been there for 9 years, here for 5.5 on the vineyard property, and we are big fans of Big Bold Red wine. As you know.
Same. Yeah, absolutely. Talk to me a little bit about this adventure for you and like what started you on this path of having your own vineyard and creating your own wine.
I was in my 50s living in California and knew that the career I'd had for 33 years in the health and fitness industry would come to a close someday. I just aged out of it and wanted something I could do till I died because I'll never retire.
Yeah, I'm that way.
Knowing that I'm going to work, what is it that I could do? And at the same time, I was writing. And I was writing screenplays and had created a cartoon line, but I couldn't monetize it. There was no one was paying me to write screenplays or to write a book. And at the same time, my wife and I had a big interest in red wine. We were living in Lodi, California.
They have great wines down there.
We loved the wine. And we were volunteering for a winery down there. And so in our spare time, I was either writing or we were at the winery. And I realized, there might be an opportunity here in the wine industry for us.
Yeah.
And so we spent 10 years working for free, volunteering time for a winery in Lodi, but loving it all the time.
Yeah, and like learning along the way too.
Everything from the field to the bottle and everywhere in between. We just did it because we loved it. And anytime I'm that passionate about something, I would love to find a way to make that work.
For sure.
For work.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was a 10-year process. It wasn't just like, hey, let's just go
start
a winery.
Sounds fun? Yeah, yeah. It's like a Hallmark movie. Like, let's just buy a winery and everything's
and some
fine.
people do that, and it doesn't usually work out.
Yeah.
But we were very passionate about the wine industry, and with my career in business, I knew a bunch of winemakers in Lodi who owned their wineries, and they didn't really understand the business side.
Sure, yeah.
They were great artisans, but not business people. And I came at it from a different angle as a businessman.
Right.
And said, I can always hire winemakers.
Absolutely.
I can hire technicians. And so why not? But I didn't know anybody. No one had done that. So I didn't have like a model to follow that.
Sure.
So I kind of created my own.
Yeah. And what took you from Lodi to Oregon? How come you didn't open up a shop in like Lodi?
We considered it. It was we would have been like just about every other winery where the lineup is pretty much the same. But I was born and raised in Oregon, graduated from Oregon State, wanted to come home.
Yeah.
And Lucy and I had come up here every year to see family and friends, and we'd always toyed with the idea of maybe living the autumn of our lives in Oregon. And so we looked at the business model and said, well, it's the same business model in Lodi or Oregon.
Sure.
But there we'd be like everyone else, and up here we'd be pretty unique. And so I met with the OLCC and said, here's what I would like to do. We'd like to bring up all this California wine. And the guy said, well, yeah, you can do that legally.
Right.
I'm not sure that's the smartest business model in Oregon. I don't think they're going to embrace you as a Californian coming up here doing that.
Right.
And that helped lead us to the name of our winery, because Bravuro means doing something risky or daring and doing
I
it
love
very
that.
well.
Yeah.
So we thought, well, if we pull this off, we're Bravuro.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
9.5 years later, we're still here going strong, and we are Bravuro.
Yeah, and you do have an estate grape, and you do grow here. Well, actually, you have a couple of varieties. Right? You have the Chardonnay and the Pinot. Do you grow anything else up here?
No, just Pinot Chardonnay. Three clones of Pinot that we blend together. Yeah.
And then you get a lot of your grapes out of Lodi.
98% of our fruit comes out of Lodi, California.
But to give, like, back to your point of kind of being different and stuff, you do have a lot of wine varieties that, like, you don't see at every tasting room in our area, which is nice.
Yeah, not at all. You don't find a lineup of Zinfandel, Petit Syrah, Tempranillo, Barbera around here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we like the uniqueness of what we're doing. And we seem to have two customers. Either they like variety, so they're Pinot fans. They're fine with Pinot, but they really like variety in their wines, or they just don't like Pinot.
And they're looking for something else.
Plenty of both.
Yeah. I remember actually my first time I was introduced to your winery was actually at a Women's Council of Realtors event. We had a wine bus that went to a couple different stops. I mean, this was one of our stops. And I instantly, because I love big, bold reds, I was like, this is my place. I found my place. And then when I found out you had a tasting room in Newburgh, which is like closer to home for me too, I was like, oh, this is a win-win for me. So I was a big fan from my first time I visited, for sure. Talk about getting the vineyard and like that, like trying to pick the right location. Like, were there already grapes here? Did you plant?
So we were already in the Newburgh tasting room we got first.
Right.
And the initial plan was for Lucy and me to have just us. The only employees. We'll grow as big as we can grow. The two of us can handle it.
0 days off.
Well,
all the things.
Yeah, we've never had day off. There's no days off.
Yeah.
But then this property came to our attention. It was a couple here that ran a winery and retired. And they put out their newsletter they were retiring and had this property for sale if anyone was interested. And one of our wine club members saw that and forwarded it to us and said, hey, we've been there. You might want to take a look at the property.
Yeah, cool.
So it had 15-year-old Pinot and Chardonnay vines at the time. And we didn't really want to do Chardonnay and Pinot because that wasn't our big, bold business model.
Right.
And so I went to the county and said, we're gonna sell these grapes and just do our red wines. And they stamped my application and rejected. I said, well, this is a problem.
Yeah.
Because we need to have a tasting room here.
Yeah.
So what would we have to do differently to get that approved? And they said, well, you're going to have to make wine from the grapes on the property. So we said, well, okay, it's not hard to do. We just added Pinot and Chardonnay to our repertoire. And then our Pinot just last year won Best in Show at the Portland Seafood Wine Festival.
Delicious. Yeah.
So,
well, and it is nice for you to have a Pinot because we are in Pinot country. So for the locals that do, like, that's their favorite. Not that you have it on the menu too. And then
it's a really nice Pinot.
Yeah. And then also they get to see where it's made and harvested and all of those things. When you were doing work in Lodi for the 10 years that you guys are volunteers, was that also like in the fields? Were you learning about the grapes and like growing the grapes, or do you have a farming background at all?
Not at all. But we learned because it was a hands-on thing. And we started from cleaning bins to thinning shoots in the vineyard. And we did everything, every single step of the way because the guy had 10 acres of Cabernet.
Okay.
And so we helped him do anything. We were just students who wanted to be pupils. We wanted to learn the business.
I'm a student of life too, like just
it
learning, a craft, even if I don't plan to have a job with it. I just love learning about different things.
So we did that from the field to and it's outdoors a lot longer season there than it is here. So most of the year we were outdoors, or then we'd move into the barrel room, and so we did a little bit of everything with him, teaching us not to have a winery.
Right.
We just want to learn the business.
Yeah, in general.
Just curious.
I love that. And then from what you learned there, have you still had teachers here that have helped you with the grapes, or did you partner with anybody? Like, hey, now all of a sudden I have this vineyard. Do you want to come talk to me about it?
Our connections are still pretty much Lodi connections. We have a winemaker up here and two down in Lodi. And the one up here makes our Pinot Noir and our Chardonnay. And the two down there make everything else. We did have three. One of them passed away last year.
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry to hear that.
He's the guy who taught us for 10 years.
Yeah.
Dave Dart taught us everything about the business.
So that was a big loss for you. Yeah.
It was a huge loss. And if you out front, there's a 1947 Dodge truck out front, and that's Dave's truck.
Aww,
his wife gave us his truck.
That's so sweet.
And she was up here last week and saw the truck. And when we pulled in the driveway and she saw his truck here, she said,
I'm sure she got emotional.
Dave has a new home. And we're so glad that Dave is here with us because he's why we're in business.
I love that so much. So if you come visit the tasting room in Amity, make sure you take a selfie with the truck and tag Dave's truck.
Take a picture with the truck. We love it.
Yeah, I love that so much. So have you just been learning then by doing for farming out here?
Yeah, we have a crew that does the work.
Okay.
Our arrangement with them is pretty much that we take care of the ground and they take care of the vines.
Okay.
And so they do that. We can do anything we want to do. We want to go drop fruit, we can do that. We want to thin shoots, we can do that. But we have them under contract to take care of the vines for us.
Nice. And how did you go about finding the crew to do that?
They were already here.
Oh, okay. That's nice.
We inherited them and we interviewed them because the wine that had been made here wasn't very good. And so when we bought the property, I asked her, I told her, look, the grape here does not have a history of the wine doesn't have a history of being good.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Was it the winemaking problem? Is it the vines? She said, no. These are great vines. They're great vines that did not get enough TLC. So if you'll invest in the vines,
then
you're going to be fine. And sure enough, it went from an okay Pinot to, as I said, best in show last year.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So we put a lot of money and time into the vines.
Yeah. Well, and it shows too. If you come out here too, you can see how much care and time you guys put into it. When it comes to harvesting and stuff, I always joke around that I think a lot of people envision like the I Love Lucy situation, just like stomping around in grapes and doing all these things. I don't think a lot of people realize a lot of times you harvest by hand, I'm assuming.
Yes, all hand harvesting.
Yes. Yeah. And so how many people do you have to have out here for harvesting?
Okay, so you're not going to believe this, but this is the truth. So
well, I hope everything's the truth,
everything
Steve.
But this is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So we only have 2 acres of grapes. It's 2,000 vines, 2 acres of grapes. And when they start, they're paid by the bucket, not by the hour. You've never seen people work this hard. They harvest these 2,000 vines in 90 minutes.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Dang.
It's like a crew of like maybe a dozen to 15 people. And they are running up and down these roads with buckets and grapes, throwing them in the bins, running back.
Sure.
90 minutes, they're done.
Oh my gosh, people are going to be calling you now like, who are they?
We had people wanted to show up for harvest. Can we come and watch? I said, yeah, but don't be late because if you're late, you'll miss it.
You could turn it into like the harvest games, like Chardonnay versus Pinot. Who's going to finish first? Have people rooting and cheering. It could be a whole event.
And we can sit back in the observation lawn back here and just stand over and watch the overview of the vineyard.
Oh my gosh, just spraying with like hoses and stuff, like cool off. Water stations. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That is probably the fastest harvest I've heard of.
Well, it's a small vineyard.
Well, but still, even just like that quick of movement, that's crazy. Well,
So late September, if you want a date, I can let you know.
Yes, I'll be here. I'm going to watch that for sure. That's nuts. I know that you and your wife obviously have a big love for wine. And one thing that you guys do that I think is super cool is take tours overseas. Like you'll go to France or different and do like a little cruise, or sometimes it's a tour like in town. Will you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. We started in Bordeaux because we're big Bordeaux blend fans. And so we took a group of 50 people, wine club members to Bordeaux, France. And we're there for 2 weeks. And then last year, Lucy and I went down to Santiago, Chile, and Mendoza, Argentina, which is kind of their Napa Valley of Chile and Argentina, and loved it so much that we organized another tour to go down there. It's not a river cruise tour, it's a land cruise. Yeah. But we're taking 36 members down there on a smaller bus and going to both of those markets again. In February of this year, we went to Spain and Portugal. And that was wonderful. It was a really good trip through the wine regions of Spain and Portugal, and took 56 wine club members on that tour.
Yeah, it's a goal of mine to go on one of these like trips with you guys. When you do that, do you have relationships over there, or like do you reach out and like say I'm a winery coming out this way to showcase your wine? Like what all do you do for prep to go out there?
We customize the package tours. They have package tours already, but we look at the winery part of it because even though it's a wine tour, a lot of times they'll throw in some extra castles or churches or things to see. We nix most of those to put in more wineries.
Yeah, you're like, we're here for the grapes.
We're here for the wine tour. Our wine club people are coming for wineries.
Right, yeah.
And so we vary those tours to customize them heavy wine. So we went to
it's my kind of vacation.
Oh, it was great. To Haro, Spain, which is the birthplace of Tempranillo. So in Bordeaux,
which we're drinking Tempranillo today because you and I both love Tempranillo.
In Bordeaux, we went to the birthplace of Cab Sauv.
Yeah.
And we just booked another tour in Eastern Europe, where we'll be going from Vienna, Austria, down through Serbia and Croatia, which is the birthplace of Zinfandel.
Oh my gosh!
So we're hitting all the places of the grapes that we love so much, and it's worked out really well.
Yeah. And so you're gone for normally 2 weeks. How many wineries do you think that you hit on average during those 2 weeks?
Dozen.
That's amazing.
It's usually two a day or so.
Yeah.
You can't do much more than that.
Yeah.
If you wait. Yeah.
And then do you guys do like meals together, or do you guys
yeah.
separate and people
Yeah.
go off and kind of do their own things?
There's some of both.
Yeah.
Usually on the 2-week trip, a week of that is on a cruise ship. Small cruise ship that only holds 100 to 150 people.
Sure.
And so we're back on the ship.
So sometimes it's like half the ship's you guys.
It is.
Yeah.
They only give us half the ship.
Yeah.
So we've sold that out in 2 weeks, and then they fill the other half of the ship with people from other parts of the country around the world.
Sure.
But it's a combination of being on the ship and being off at vineyards.
That's amazing. And do you have to be a wine club member to go with you guys, or can you do?
Yep.
Okay.
Wine club, because we fill it up with our wine club members.
Yeah, which makes sense. So you guys have a great wine club. Do you want to talk a little bit about the wine club membership?
Well, we created a wine club like we would actually want to join, which maybe
I
seems
joined, yeah.
over. Yeah.
I've been a
Pretty
member
logical.
for 4 years now, I
Good for you.
think. Yeah. Yeah.
But there's no fee to join. You can quit anytime. Most of them have like a year
Yeah.
period or something. You can cancel anytime.
Yeah.
And you choose the wines each quarter. So I send out a list
I love
a
that.
few weeks in advance of here's all the wines that are available. What do you want? And you pick.
Yeah.
We don't want to send people wine that they don't want.
Absolutely.
We belong to several wine clubs, and every one of those we get wine that isn't necessarily our favorite.
Right.
We didn't want to do that to people. You always have the option to choose what you want.
Yeah. The couple things that your wine club offers that I really appreciate is one, obviously I frequent a lot because I like to bring visitors and guests and clients and things like that, but I don't always need to do a tasting because I already know like what my favorites are. I love that I can just have a glass of wine while my friends have a tasting and like chit chat with them. I love that I can switch it out for my favorites, or sometimes I'm like, oh, actually I'm kind of in the mood for this. It's not even that it's not one of my favorites, but I just want to switch it out. And then also I like that when I bring guests and stuff, they also get to enjoy my discount while they're there with me, which is always nice too. So I had a lender with me yesterday in your tasting room in Newburgh, and he went home with wine. He was like, my wife will be mad if I don't take something home. And so he took a Pinot Noir home to her. So yeah, it was nice to be able to like share my discount with him too.
It feels like a common sense wine club to me. It's like, well, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
And if friends are there, why wouldn't they get your wine club price? I've been to places where you go out, I'm the member, so I'll buy the wine, and we'll go outside and you give me the money.
Yeah, it's
Why
just
play the
like
game?
silly. Yeah.
It's a silly game.
Yeah. Well, and I like it because then like either coming up here or being in the tasting room, it really just also feels like an extension of like my own home. Because like, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is like my place too. Like, welcome. I want to show you the wine and things. And that's what like the wine clubs are meant to do, is create ambassadors for you that bring people in too.
We want it to feel like when you come here, like this is your backyard.
Totally.
And so we didn't put $1 million into marble columns and fancy stuff and a valet person to park your cars. Like, no,
Right.
This is a casual experience. Come casual, enjoy
Yeah.
yourself. You'll feel like you're home.
Yeah. What is some tasting advice that you would give? So if I was like a brand new baby novice wine drinker and I was visiting Oregon for the first time, what's a couple tips and tricks you would give them for doing a wine tasting?
Don't overthink it.
That's great advice.
There's so much. You can get as technical as you want to get. We try to keep it simple. That's why we don't give tasting notes. I don't want to tell you that you're going to smell cinnamon and have a hint of clove on that. You know, what you taste and smell is what you taste and smell.
Right.
And you like it or you don't. And start there. And then it helps people to feel like they're not being talked down to.
Right.
They're like, oh, that's all I have to do is, well, I do like that. Or I didn't care for that one as much as the first one. There's no wrong answers.
Right. You're not going to be like offended if someone's like, oh, Zen's not really my favorite, but I loved this. Yeah. I think that's some people get nervous about going wine tasting because I think they have to like speak to it, or like, is anyone going to judge me if I'm not like, oh, I just get notes of vanilla on that kind of a thing. So I do like that. You and others in the area are very welcoming, and it is casual. Like, you don't have to be all fancy. Sunday's best coming out to the winery kind of a thing. Talk a little bit about the different wines. Like, what was some of your first bottles? And now you guys have like quite a few wines that you offer. Your menu is quite large. What wines did you start with, and then how did you decide to grow?
We make 10 to 12 wines every year. We made our very first bottle in 2009. We made a barrel of Tempranillo, and that was part of our education with Dave. And my wife and I don't have children, and the picture of us in our tasting room with us standing next to a half ton of our first Tempranillo grapes is like two very proud parents.
Oh, for sure. I bet.
We are so proud of that.
Yeah.
And so we nurtured those grapes for a year and a half. And every weekend we couldn't wait to get back out to the barrel room to see how our wine was doing, run tests on it and stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure that was so rewarding, seeing it from start to finish.
And we still have about a case of it left,
You do? I love
16 years later.
Yeah, I love that.
It's not very good. But
it's still, it's just the nostalgic. Yeah.
And so the next year we made 2 barrels, and the next year was like 5 barrels. And pretty quick we had a lot of wine, but we realized the process is a 2-year process. From the time we buy the grapes until that's in your hands, that's 2 years.
Yeah.
That's a lot of investment.
Absolutely.
So we can't afford to go wrong, and that's why we price all of our wines the same price, because we remove price from your taste buds. This way people buy what they like.
Yeah.
Not what they like based on the price.
Right.
Because price really does affect your taste buds.
Yeah, for sure.
So for that 2-year gamble period for us, we need to know what people like so we can get more of those grapes. And for us, it's been Tempranillo, Zinfandel, and Petit Syrah have been the 3 anchors of our lineup. And
that makes sense, because you don't, like we said, you can't get that in a lot of tasting rooms in this area either. So like it makes sense that those are your...
We like those in the lineup all the time. So unless we just run out of it, we have those 3. And then we make smaller lots of Barbera and Petit Verdot and other things, the best in show blend, things that we work in around those other 2.
Yeah.
But we try to keep those 3 all the time.
I love the best in show. That's one I like to give my friends and family that are just starting to dabble in reds, because it's a red blend. Yep. And I think it's so nice and smooth. It's not too dry. It's not too sweet. It's like right in the middle, and it's always well received, which I think the name best in show is like perfect for it.
Well, we name it that, not because it won anything, but because we donate money from that wine to a dog charity every year.
Oh, I did not know that.
That's why they call it that.
That's amazing.
So we pick a different dog charity.
Oh my gosh. Well, now I love it even more. That's so funny. I always was like, well, it's best in show. No. I've never had one person where I've given it to them and they're like, I don't know about that, So I was like, oh, it must be like one of their top producers. No. Oh my gosh. That is so interesting. I had no idea.
That's a Cabernet Sauvignon and Petit Syrah blend. Yeah.
How did you decide to donate to that dog show then?
I don't know where that started. We have 2 dogs. We're big dog fans.
Yeah.
And we just, I don't remember where it even started. I came up with the name Best in Show because the dog world, they call it Best in Show. In the wine world, they call it Best of Show.
Right.
I don't know why.
Sure.
But they're 2 different things.
Yeah.
So we called it that.
Tomato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we pick different dog charities and have fun doing that.
I love that. That's so cool. Now I'm going to have to tell everybody, like, hey, if you guys get Best in Show, it actually goes to a charity, just so you know. So you might want to take 2 bottles, unless you don't like dogs. Apparently, then I'll just like twist the arm a little bit. I love that so much. So how did you then grow up to like 12 wines a year? Because you were saying you started with a couple, and then how did you go more?
When we go to a tasting room, we like to taste different wines.
Sure.
And we would frequent the same wineries often. And so going back and having the same wine each time was like, would be nice if there was something different. So we like to, our menu changes almost every other month. Either we sold out of something, or we just have it with that many wines, we have to change our menu. But it's part of it's just the variety. We want to have 10 or 12 wines because I want there to be more than just 4 or 5 wines that you have all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that would get old.
Yeah, it does. And then since you have 2 winemakers in Lodi and 1 here, is bottling happening in Lodi too then, and bottling happening here?
Yeah.
Or
typically around March is when we bottle.
Okay. All of them?
Yeah, it's been in the barrel for 18 months by then, because we harvest typically in September. So by March, a year and a half later, that's when we're bottling.
Okay.
Yep. Both places.
And then do you have everything stored in one spot, or so everything comes up here then?
It's here in our temperature controlled warehouse. It's always 55 degrees.
Yeah.
And it's insulated and protected, and yep. We bring it up in a truck, so we bottle in March. So sometime around April, while we can still, temperature still good.
Yeah.
We bring it up on 2 semi trucks from California, put it in the warehouse.
Okay.
It stays happy there.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I was in the tasting room yesterday, and I asked, are there any pressing questions I should ask Steve? And one that was suggested is, who's your favorite employee? And you cannot say your wife because she's your partner and not an employee. But it was like a joke. I was like, oh, let's put him on the spot. Which tasting room person's your favorite? You have a great staff.
He'll never answer that.
No, I know. It's like choosing your favorite child. You have a great staff. They're it doesn't matter who's in there. It's always a great time.
We realized the other day that in our 9.5 years in business, we've never lost an employee.
That's amazing.
No one has quit, and we've never fired anybody. Does that ever happen?
Well, especially if you think about what has happened even in the last 5 years, like tasting rooms are closed, like people weren't out and about. You and I were just talking too that like wine sales have been down a little bit more because mocktails are at an all-time high. The younger generation isn't drinking the way some of the older generations have. And how has that like impacted like how you think about how much grapes to actually turn into wine or how many things to bottle?
Yeah, we're going to have to cut our production a little bit this year because our sales are down slightly, not nearly as much as what we hear the industry is down.
Yeah.
But traffic is what concerns me the most because our wine club is so strong that our wine club is...
And loyal.
Yeah, our wine club is our business.
Right.
And the tasting traffic is down because so many fees have gone up so high that people stop going tasting.
Yeah.
You could go tasting for 3 or 4 wineries at $10 a piece and make a day of it.
Right.
And now a $10 tasting fee is almost unheard of. That's what ours is.
It really is unheard of. Like in this area, I'd say the average tasting fee is like $45.
So we opened 9 years ago. Our tasting fee was $10. It's still $10.
Yeah.
To me, it's
Which
a
is
barrier.
awesome.
It's a barrier to entry, and people want to taste the wine before they buy it.
Right.
But so why would you make it difficult for them to taste? The higher you raise that price, the more difficult you make it for them to taste.
Yeah, for sure.
I consider lowering ours to $5 because I want people in the door because when they come in the door,
they're gonna buy.
They buy wine.
Yeah, absolutely.
We rarely collect a tasting fee because people buy wine.
Yeah.
If I do collect a tasting fee, I consider it a loss. That means you didn't like my wine enough to buy a bottle of it.
Yeah.
We lost that.
Absolutely. Well, and I've noticed too, like sometimes the tasting fees are $35 to $45, and then even if you buy 2 bottles and the average bottle at that place is like $60 to $75, they'll only waive like one of the tasting fees, and it's like, well, this stop just cost me $200. Yeah. And so to your point, you can only go to one of those, right? A lot of times, especially if you're just out for the afternoon. So I do appreciate that like you have that different mindset of just come enjoy the wine.
Well, I wish it didn't affect everyone.
Right.
But just as a rising tide lifts all boats, a lowering tide lowers all boats.
That's true.
And so when people don't go out tasting, I don't have a shot at them.
Mm-hmm.
You're
That's
not coming
true.
here because you didn't go
about.
out anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not happy right now with all these high tasting fees.
Yeah, for sure. But anyone listening, now you know it's only $10 and you can come enjoy this beautiful view. If you're in Amity or if you're in the Newburgh area, pop into the tasting room there too as well. With that being said too, we were also talking about, I wish that more people realized like everything that went into winemaking. Like we've talked a lot about it today, like the years it took you to like learn the business, plus hiring others, growing the grapes. Like when I buy wine, I know I'm like supporting a farmer, a whole team. Like you said, you have a whole team that works the grapes, the tasting room, the family. Like that's why it's so much more to me than just like, oh, a bottle of wine, fun. That's fun. Like it's like supporting local and multiple people. It's not just you and your wife. It's like all the families you employ and everybody else that's also on your team. So don't forget that when you're out shopping and drinking, and buy the bottle to support local for sure. Is there any messaging that you would give a young winemaker out there or somebody that's thinking about getting into the business, like words of wisdom?
Oh, only to do what you love and don't ever compromise your passion.
Yeah, I love that.
I've spent my entire life in careers that I work when people play. Mm-hmm. And so whether you're out wine tasting, I'm working. Mm-hmm. When I was in the health and fitness industry, after work, you would go work out. Do your workout. That was my work. Mm-hmm. I've always been in places where people come into my place in a good mood and leave in a better mood.
Yeah.
And so I would never compromise doing something that I'm passionate about. I would never just have a job. Mm-hmm. I've got to love what I do. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I love that so much. Thank you so much for having me here.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it. Cheers one more time to you. Thank you for teaching me that. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Cheers.